Welcome back to the Announcer's Curse podcast. I am Derek Todoroff.
And I am Ben Iman.
Tonight we are looking at a lot of things. And, that's how we always are. But this is special because we're going on a bit of a hiatus coming up after this episode. I'm finishing up my final few weeks of college. Caden, our amazing editor, say hi, Caden.
Hi, guys.
Yeah, thanks, Caden. He's moving to a new apartment, and Ben is going to be left alone with all of his thoughts. So I'm sure he's not excited for that.
No, I that's how I live most of the times. This is kind of my outlet for that, and so I'm a little bit worried about the long-term
Hey, fair enough.
danger to my brain.
On the docket for today, we're going to take a look at the weekend out at Dover and the weekend here in the Northwest. We're going to dissect what went wrong with the NASCAR All-Star race and how Dale Jr. and I have the same idea how to fix it. We preview the rest of the 2026 Stanley Cup playoffs, celebrate the 2026 Ed Chenoweth Cup champions, our Everett Silvertips. We are also going to make picks for the next 3 weeks of NASCAR racing. And we got Caden with another special edition of the Barksdale Baseball Basement. And we approach to the greatest weekend in racing, the Indianapolis 500. Ben and I are going to teach you a little bit about the history of that race, the storylines you should follow, and hopefully get you to fall in love with the great American race in its 110th running. All that here tonight on the Announcer's Curse podcast. Without further ado, let's get right on into the show. And we start out in Dover, Delaware, with the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series running 200 laps on the concrete oval. And you might be wondering, why are you so dismissive, Derek? Well, I will give you, let's go 10 seconds to just take a guess. How many drivers led laps at Dover?
Oh, that's a good question. I don't even know the answer to this. 4.
That's right. It was 4.
Oh, wow. Okay, I didn't actually look it up. My hands didn't move.
147 laps led by eventual race winner Kyle Busch, 49 laps led by Ross Chastain,
Ooh.
3 laps led by Cole Butcher during a pit cycle,
Hey,
and
shout out
1
Cole.
lap led by Caden Honeycutt. So, again, I need to emphasize there were 4 race leaders in this race.
That's not a good sign.
I like Dover. I like the chaos that Dover usually creates. And boy, did it create chaos this weekend, just not in the truck race. The truck race was just, we're all going to follow Kyle Busch on our way to the supermarket. Yay!
Yeah, I think I don't really have anything to add to this one either. I just think it was kind of follow the leader for a while. I commend anyone who tried an alternate strategy or tried everything. I think these types of tracks, the truck series, are very hit or miss. When we get to these mile and a halves, the racing is either incredible or it's like Kyle Busch for 140 some laps, which, Kyle's got his mojo back. And according to Kyle, he never lost the mojo.
Yeah, well, either he never lost the mojo and RCR just sucks and he should leave, or the mojo's gone in Cup and he's just figured out he's better off being anywhere else.
Well, I would just say, is it time for Kyle Busch to become a full-time truck guy?
I say, yeah. I mean, go get the triple, Kyle.
Be the next, Jack Sprague or...
Hey, Kyle Busch can do something no other NASCAR driver has ever done before. Kyle Busch can go get the triple. He can win the Truck Series championship, and if he does that, he will be the first NASCAR driver ever to win all top 3 series. The closest driver ever to come to it. Do you know who it is, Ben?
Martin Truex Jr.
Greg Biffle.
Oh, yeah.
Biffle finished second 1 year in the NASCAR Cup Series, but has a title in both the, at the time, Busch Series and the Craftsman Truck Series. The fiercely loyal Greg Biffle, who raced for Roush his entire full-time career. It's another fun Greg Biffle fact. Greg Biffle not elected into the Hall of Fame, and I understand Jeff Burton did quite a bit for this sport, but I'm just saying Greg Biffle is the closest driver ever to get to the triple, and is a massive humanitarian who unfortunately passed away. And that does deserve to be in the Hall of Fame over a man with 2 more Cup wins than he has and 20 less across all 3 national series, as well as no titles in any series.
I will say on this, if they came out and said, look, we chose not to induct him this year because we didn't want it to look like we're inducting him because he passed away tragically, then I could get behind the choice to maybe wait another year. If they just didn't induct him because, for insert other reason here, and they had like a valid argument, sure, okay, but I don't know that we'll ever get that kind of clarity on this kind of thing, which we all knew Harvick was on this real fast. We all knew Harvick was going in.
He should. He's a Cup Series champion, and he's a two-time Busch Series champion at the time of when he won it. Harvick 100% deserves this title. He's one of the winningest drivers in the Cup Series history.
Yeah. He's now 11th all time.
Yeah, I mean that's incredible, especially as a driver who only raced in the modern era of NASCAR.
Right.
Those are incredibly respectable things, and I think firmly, if you're in the top 20, you should be in the Hall of Fame. If you're above 25 wins, like there's no question in my mind you should be in the Hall of Fame at that point. I think even if Denny Hamlin never wins a title, he should be a first ballot Hall of Famer. He's an amazing driver, and that's a thing he 100% deserves.
Yeah, but don't worry, Derek. He'll win a title. We won't have to worry about that.
Oh yeah, buddy. And like there's
this is where I told
Chad
you.
Canal's crew for these days. Can you remind me? And like
Chase Elliott.
Chase Elliott.
I told you back in the off season. This was an off pod thing, but I told you back in the off season how upset I was that Dover became the All-Star race simply because Denny's really good at Dover, and I didn't pick him because I wanted.
He got $1 million, man.
He did. I didn't. That's all going to his mom. He said, which is sweet. No, I was just saying. I didn't pick him because we all went spicy, and I picked Noah Gragson. Which
I've been driving to make the show.
He looked great.
No, he did not.
He's running top 5 in that.
Go ahead.
He's running top 5 in that whole first half of the race, kind of thing.
He avoided getting murdered by the wrecks in the race.
Pretty much. But that's okay. So
I mean, you and I have talked again off pod about the All-Star Race's presence at Dover. I'm a huge fan of Dover. I remember racing it as a little kid in NASCAR Thunder 2002. Remember watching those big car tomorrow wrecks at Dover. But I have 2 pitches for the All-Star Race. One of them is the Dale Jr. option that he talked about on his podcast, and I briefly mentioned last episode, which is make it all 3. All 3 divisions. Come to town. We got a big reward. And I like Dale Jr.'s pitch that it's everyone who makes the chase. In all 3 series, put them all out on the track, have some fun. It's a good show. I think you can do that at Charlotte. I think you can do that pretty much any cookie cutter as sort of a lead up to the 600, which is a crown jewel. The other pitch I have, and the more controversial pitch, is get rid of it. What purpose does it serve anymore? If we're just letting anybody race in it, what's the purpose of the All-Star race? It's not an All-Star race anymore. It'd be like, all right, here's the All-Star game. We've brought every single MLB player out here to the diamond today, and if they can hit 5 home runs off 10 pitches, they can, in fact, play in the All-Star game today. As you can see, here we go. We've now thrown 26 people out onto the baseball diamond at once versus batting rotation of 33 people from the NL.
I definitely don't disagree with you. I told you what my idea was, is that each team has to get another driver from a different series who has to run half the race, and then they have to do a driver change, it's somewhere in the middle.
I mean, I like that. I think that'd be a fun idea, but I also think that might be a more fun idea for the Clash, which I have feelings on the existence of the Clash. But it's the All-Star race. It's supposed to be the showcase of the best talent in the Cup Series or the best talent in NASCAR. That is the overt purpose of this event. That's what any All-Star event is for. And in the same way that the NHL looked at its All-Star game and said, well, this isn't working. It's time to go play the Four Nations face-off now. I think that decision needs to be made in NASCAR. You need to figure out something. Maybe
it's series face off and you let Arca run in it.
Christ.
There's imagine the pandemonium when
it's not difficult to.
When Kyle Larson in a Cup car gets hit by a 604 crate in an Arca car blowing up.
Some of those Arca cars are old Cup cars from 2007. You get to see the equipment difference between 07 and 2026. Dear Lord.
You would.
That would be a watch.
This guy gets it.
Speaking of,
this guy gets it.
The All-Star race. Yeah, that happened. We witnessed the NASCAR All-Star race at Dover. Notable moments: Ryan Preece exploding.
Kyle Larson and other favorites getting tangled up in it early and being uncompetitive in the actual part that mattered.
Like, what was this?
It was,
Like, there's-
you know what? Here's what I'll say. They tried something. Like, for a long time, the complaint from NASCAR fans is that they don't try anything. They just run the same thing, and it
It's a
doesn't.
stupid complaint. It's a stupid complaint solved with a stupid solution.
Sure. I mean, I don't disagree there. But they tried something. I didn't really like it. I don't think it worked. Go back to the drawing board. Try something different.
I think the issue for me is when I tell a city, like, hey, you got to do something about the potholes. There's potholes all over the city streets. You got to do something. What I'm looking for them to do is to fill the potholes, not build ramps over the potholes. Like, oh, you got to jump over the potholes now. Look, isn't this more fun? Isn't this more fun? You got to
And everyone
do
goes
the
over the
jumps.
potholes, not just some of you.
I mean, everybody's got to go over the potholes, over the ramps. You got to make it fun. Oh, what's that? You totaled your giant car because you crashed going over the ramp, or oh, you bent the suspension a little bit. You're no longer legally allowed on the road. You got to park your car and stop.
Your point is made.
What the hell? What's this? It's one of the stupidest events I've ever seen in my life. I'm sure Denny Hamlin just ran it like a regular Dover race, which awesome, Congrats to Denny Hamlin. He deserved the $1 million. No shade against him.
I would have rather preferred the points in the point standing.
That's
$1 million is probably pretty.
the issue, ain't it? The race was at Charlotte for years. The Winston was at Charlotte for years. And now we're just when we lost the plot when we put it at Bristol.
Yeah.
That was we lost the plot then. And when we did all those lovely things. Granted, putting underglow on the cars was pretty cool. Putting the number back over the rear tires, much less cool. I think you got to have a specific scheme to pull that off.
I just say, here's what NASCAR should do: just pick a local short track, put them in late models.
Yeah, I'm fine with that. All-Star Challenge,
something different. Same thing. Make it like only the top 15 in points, kind of thing.
Or maybe here's a bright idea: only the winners.
That's also fine.
Like the All-Star race is supposed to be. You got winners and past champions. That's the All-Star race.
And we need to go back to, and we also need to go back to the pit crew challenge, like how they used to do it, like in an arena, and
I have less complaints about the pit crew challenge, but
have an actual kind of challenge. So anyway, that's the All-Star race. We skipped over O'Reilly. I don't really care. It's another all of Dover. I don't want to say Dover disappointed because Dover is a great track, and I like Miles the Monster.
I don't think Dover disappointed. I don't think Dover is a disappointment. I think Dover disappointed.
Yeah.
In the same way that an A student turning in a C assignment is a sad thing. If we got this at Texas, I'd be like, oh, okay, well, that's Texas for you. At least something happened.
Yeah,
but it's Dover, and we have expectations for Dover, a track that we love and that we're excited to get to on the schedule, and that I firmly believe should not have been replaced with something as stupid as North Wilkesboro. But we don't always get what we want. I have to watch a North Wilkesboro race when I think it's one of the worst tracks NASCAR's gone to in the past years that I've been alive.
I can't say it's the worst, but
I can.
Well, you can, I guess.
It's awful. We've been there twice, and it's been awful both times. Nothing happens. We just all follow the leader.
Would you rather have North Wilkesboro, or would you rather have National Fairgrounds?
I haven't seen them at Fairgrounds, so let's send them to Fairgrounds. I've seen them at Wilkesboro, and they suck at Wilkesboro. The trucks are fine. The Cup Series sucks at North Wilkesboro. The Cup Series sucks at Bowman Gray. Cup Series sucks at short tracks, and we need to stop sending them there.
Sure.
If you're going to add things to make the series look good, go to Chicagoland. Go get Kentucky out of the weeds. They thrive on the cookie cutters a mile and a half, and then we send them to these short tracks where they suck. They're awful.
There's this really cool, longer than a half-mile track out here on the West Coast that might be kind of cool.
In all,
Couple on trying. Anyway, but you said the National Series are going to North Wilkesboro. This is a great segue back to the Northwest, Derek, that I don't think you intended to do. But making his NASCAR Truck Series debut at North Wilkesboro will be Mr. Casey Klein from Quincy. You know, Casey's been a staple out here in the West Coast, a Northwest Super Late Model Series champion, and really a ringer of the Northwest. Whenever you see him enter a race out here, you kind of hit that like, oh, Casey's going to go run this. Okay. He's still very young, still a teenager, and, has been running the ASA Stars Tour lately in between being on the West and going out East. And then, has obviously made an attempt at the Snowball Derby before. And the news broke, was it last week or slightly before that, about him and Trevor Christiani racing parting ways. They've been longtime partners now for him in his kind of super late model series. And it wasn't a bad breakup at all. It was because this opportunity arose for him. So this, he's going to run, I believe it's 4, maybe 5, I can't remember, truck races for Rackley War in the 27 truck. A similar one you've seen Tony Breidinger run this year, as she's been another one of these part-time drivers to take on that 27. And then he's also going to run some super late model stuff out here on the West Coast and out back east for Anthony Campy Racing. It's 5. Thank you, Derek. Anthony Campy Racing. And that's a big deal. Anthony Campy, they have success. And now this year, they also are running P1 chassis built by Mr. Preston Peltier out of Colorado. P1 has been very successful. They won the Summer Showdown last year with Chase Hansen. Chase Hansen would go on to win the Cars Tour West Super Late Model Series Tour. And so it's going to be interesting how this plays out for Casey from the Northwest. I think it is amazing to see Northwest drivers recognized and get these opportunities. I would love to start stacking the field with, you could get Raz in there, you could get Plybon in there, you could get Ethan Ebert in there. Thomas Stanford probably deserves a try with how successful he's been, and the list goes on. Just because I didn't list them doesn't mean they're not worthy of it. And so anytime someone out of the Northwest gets this opportunity, it's very exciting. So Casey, again, making his debut at North Wilkesboro.
Yeah, it's really cool to see that. He'll be running Wilkesboro, Richmond, Charlotte, Martinsville, and Bristol. So all short tracks for the young driver.
Sure.
Yeah, we don't care about Charlotte. He's actually going to have to compete. Or wait, no, that's the October 9th. Never mind. I was going to say he's actually going to have to compete for a starting spot.
No,
but
the
probably
fall
it's the fall Charlotte race. All right. I don't seek to disparage the opportunity, but I wish it could have been in like some higher level equipment.
Well, sure.
I haven't seen Rackley War's late model program, a force to be reckoned with.
Incredible.
Rackley War's program for back trucks.
Long way to go.
Yeah, we're a ways off on that one. I'm not fully confident they should be a 2-truck team right now.
Probably not, if we're being honest.
I'm super excited for Casey Klein and this opportunity, especially this big short track schedule. Charlotte will be interesting. It will be a difficult race, I'm sure. In fact, this is such a great opportunity for a young driver to get a shot.
Yeah.
And a representation for the Northwest.
And you got to take it when it comes, right? Casey's not going to go, oh, well, I wish it was a better truck.
No.
If he's going to get a truck ride today. So
no, let me make this clear. I'm taking a shot. If I'm taking a shot at anyone, I'm taking a shot at Rackley War.
No, I know you
for their questionable program, not at Casey Klein for accepting. Do that. Like get out there. Go do it. Go win races with a team you're confident. Go take your shot.
Right.
And if you don't take your shot, you're an idiot.
And yeah, there's no other information at this time about it for schemes or sponsors or anything like that. So I guess we will just kind of await more of that news. And once again, I love to shout it out that the Elevate Race Report did beat Short Track Scene and Joseph Srigley to the scene. So it's another win for Kyler's team and the boys back home.
Hey, we love to see it.
I say it like
we love to see it. Hey, you can toot your own horn sometimes. That's fair. I will say he's gonna have this last big race here in the Northwest with the Wenatchee 200. Two of us will be in attendance for that race, so we'll be sure to let you know what that campy car looks like on Wenatchee.
If you come to the Wenatchee 200, you'll be able to see Derek Todorov. He's going to bring some goodies, maybe some announcers' curse stickers and some other stuff. No, I'm telling you this now at the same time because you can't say no because it's on the pod.
I see,
but you won't be able.
I'm not getting
see
those.
me.
You got to get those.
I'll get them. No, I'll get them. You won't really see me much, but you'll hear me as I will be on the microphone with Greg Rentz and the team, helping participate with the Winnet 200, probably from the pits, shoving a microphone through a fence.
I did that last year.
Yes, you did. We'll see how that goes.
I'll give you some pointers from my experience there. Well, let's talk about Evergreen Speedway last week. And by let's, I mean you.
Yeah, who let Nema Lang build a new late model is the statement. Nema swept the floor on Saturday of the field. It wasn't close. And I know Haley got out. Haley finished second. Haley Constance comes home second. Chad Fitzpatrick third. Kyle Lang a far off fourth after he was involved. He got sent to the rear for causing involvement on a lap 2 caution and then had to fight through cars to, Kyle was, I talked with the Langs and the team before the race and how they were, they had to start the rear their first time out, not because of tires. I actually got that wrong. Clint told me that they did not have 4 sets of tires on. They had the LCQ tires from Wenatchee they were using for that race. So they still had 4 freshies at some point, 4 fresh Hoosiers and some Sunoco race fuel for that bad boy. But
is Poet biodegradable ethanol?
No, we don't put that in ours. We don't put that in ours. But so I felt bad for him that he had to then once again hunt from the rear to start the race. Talked to the few people post race. I know that it sounded like the Constance car had something that wasn't quite right with it. Haley was apparently never really happy with it, and that showed in the run. She gave a good run, and obviously, when you're points racing, second place is, you may not be happy with it in the moment, but you'll be happy with it in the long run. But second place does mean Nema Lang has drawn even to Haley Constance in points heading into the final race before the Mark Galloway shootout. And the reason I say this next race is important because this is how the Evergreen Speedway calendar goes. It's the Mark Galloway shootout, which is just a flat 25 points for starting for the Evergreen drivers. So you can't make up or lose ground on that one. Then it's the Central Welding Supply 125, which is the longest race of the year on the 3/8. It will probably draw out of town cars. And so it's, that could be a huge point swing depending on how that goes. And then the Summer Showdown, same thing. It's actually the Summer Shootout, on the PLM Friday or Saturday. No, Friday. I had it right first time. I keep forgetting that we're not a Saturday, Sunday doubleheader. We're a Friday.
I mean, I will say you didn't even say Friday the first time. You just said it was the shootout.
Anyway, that's a flat 25. And then it's championship night. So that's where things could get hairy for these people. Chad Fitzpatrick, strong third place for him, finishes up on the podium. He's fallen a little bit back in the point standings. I don't want to say he's out of it, but it's double digits at this point, and so that'll be tough to make up. He probably needs some luck to swing his way. He needs to pick up a win, and for some reason have Haley Nema finish further back in the field. I don't know. Chad has the skill and the car underneath him to do it. He's just been the third car most this year, and that's been tough. And it doesn't help when a lap car, moves you up the track and you lose, the race essentially because of it. But anyway, so that was kind of the Pro Late Model feature portion of the night. They did run first again, which was weird for me from an announcing perspective. Simply done it with the worry of bad weather rolling in. Although the day ended up being gorgeous, like after the wet weather in the morning. So to anyone that stayed home, your loss. To Street Stocks were in action. A 3-wide finish was in order. Yep. Jackson Beckel, Steve Fatasic, and Scott Lacrosse off turn 4, and give it to Scott Lacrosse, who got the giddy up in the middle lane. And Scott, a 4-time mini stock champion and a member of the Evergreen Speedway 70 greatest drivers, picked up his first career street stock win. And he told me prior in the week about how he used to kind of bash them, the street stocks, and he kind of made fun of them maybe back in the day. And then has started to drive one and goes, wait a moment, these things are actually kind of fun. So he's technically run about a year now, although it was half of last season and now half of this season, which per the new Evergreen Speedway rulebook, Scott Lacrosse will have to add 25 pounds to that car and also start at the back at the next race. Things got a little testy when Mark Hubbard and Jackson Beckel got the elbows out. And I know. I'll say they got the elbows out is honestly, Derek, the polite way of putting it. It got very
shocking. I'm so surprised.
Yeah, so watch that battle the rest of the year. Jackson is still the points leader going after that race. The Stinger 8 put on a very impressive performance with about 10 cars. A good feel for them. Another win for Matt Somerville. Tyler Draper, again, comes home in second, was leading until about 3 laps to go, and just Somerville found the right little pick and plunk and made the move. So, and that it's probably going to be a Somerville Snyder championship fight, I think, for this. Cody Hoops not running a full season, has already missed a race, and as he said, you can't fight for a title if you just miss one. So I think that was maybe his intentional. I'm not gonna stick around and fight for this title. I'm just gonna have fun this year. Youth Hornets were good, and then they're Youth Hornets, and then I think the only thing that came of note from the Hornet race was the fact that post race one driver had their window smashed in by a helmet and a couple of fists. So some tempers flaring. I don't really know the details of it. I just saw that. I didn't see it happen either. I just saw the aftermath of it. And so I'm not going to get into all of the details of it. I just know it was post racing contact that put one car almost in the inside wall on the backstretch. They ended up in the tire barrier by by where the boot is for Derek, who knows the track very well. That was kind of it from the Speedway. Coming back strong this weekend for Memorial Day, 2 days of show, figure eights with Outlaws and Superstocks, train racing, boat racing, bump to pass, fireworks,
I'll be swinging by on Sunday.
You will be. All right. You will enjoy. I hope.
I mean, I've got Outlaws, so that's all I really need.
That's true.
They kind of satisfy my needs.
They're having a good season so far. Couple of different winners. I know Ryan Clark got up on the podium last time. He'll look to go back to back, and we'll see what goes from there.
On that note, let's look ahead. The Northwest schedule. We've mentioned it once. As of filming, 11 days, and in 12 minutes, it will be 10 days away from the Wenatchee 200.
Mm-hmm.
So, with that looming in the distance, Ben, you and I are going to pick our winners for the Wenatchee 200. Caden also can if he wants. That doesn't matter. We're going to be picking. Hey, look, we are picking in a couple of minutes here the next 3 weeks of NASCAR.
Yeah, but I know
you're going to have to be restrained to full-time drivers in the truck series. So best of luck on that one.
That's fine. I'm okay.
We have a solid idea of who will be in, I'd say. We know a lot of the contenders, and we know the Cars Super full-timers will be there.
Sure. I'd say at this point, I'm comfortable just I'll pick from the list that I know.
Yeah. Plum Perfect Wenatchee 200, the annual race out there at the Wenatchee Valley Super Oval.
You want us to pick it?
Yeah. So the Plum Perfect Wenatchee 200, back at it again. Big names in this one. A lot of big potential as well. Ben, who are you watching for this one?
Cole Raz. I'm taking Cole. He always seems to run well at Wenatchee. He seems to like the track. It was a battle between him and Owen Riddle last time at the Wenatchee 200. He's been itching to get back in a super, I can tell you that. And so I'm gonna stick with my gut. I'm not gonna dance around with it. Give me Cole Raz. And I can list other people who I'll let you make your pick, and then we can talk about other potential contenders.
Mm-hmm.
How about that?
Once at a track like Wenatchee, and you have the formula, you have the basis by which you can carry momentum into the next few races, you have a good understanding. By that nature, there are a couple of drivers who that suggests can do it again. Drivers like Evan Getz, Owen Riddle if he shows up. I said Owen Riddle if he shows up, and then all the solo cups just fell off the table sitting next to me. Drivers like Evan Getz, Owen Riddle if he shows up. I don't know if he will be there, but I do know someone who will be there. Someone who is a decorated Northwest driver. Someone who's already seen success at Wenatchee this season. Give me win the Plum Perfect Wenatchee 200 driver, the number 91, Alan Cross.
Going back to back, that's not a bad bet. Alan won the Cars Tour Northwest Treetop 150 earlier this year, and it's the same car, Derek. So it wouldn't change much.
A couple other drivers who will be in that one that you should keep an eye on. Of course, Kevin and Keelan Harvick, Vito Cancelo, Bryce Bezanson, Evan Getz, who you heard me mention a moment ago, Jace Hansen, Casey Klein, Brent Harris. Much more still to come. 10 days out, we'll see an entry list for that race any day now. The day you're listening to this, you should go check. Go see if you can find it. Go see if you can find what Wenatchee has posted, and
there's still some tickets available,
so there. There are some tickets available for both the race and for a chance to meet Kevin Harvick before the race.
I hope I get to do that.
I don't think you will. I think you are cosmically unlucky in a hilarious way that will somehow prevent you once again from meeting Kevin Harvick. In fact, I don't know if I've shared my Kevin Harvick story on this podcast before. When Harvick came to Evergreen last year, I got the chance to meet him, obviously, during the media day. And I say obviously as if Ben got the chance. But it was entertaining because I need to emphasize to all of you who have never met Kevin Harvick, who maybe don't know who Kevin Harvick is. He's a NASCAR Cup Series champion, legendary driver from the West Coast. He is a normal guy.
What you see is what you get.
He's a normal man. He is not like some eccentric. He's not some mightier than thou, any of that. I just Kevin Harvick. And so my conversation with Kevin Harvick went a little something like this. Hi, Kevin. I'm Derek Todorov. I'm the announcer here at Evergreen Speedway. Hi, Derek. I'm Kevin Harvick. I'm a driver. Yeah. Well, I'm happy to have you out here at Evergreen, Kevin. Well, I'm happy to be here at Evergreen, Derek. Would you like to meet my son?
Yeah, I know.
They say never meet your heroes. I don't agree. I think it's really fun to meet your heroes because sometimes they're not. It's the opposite situation where instead of being, oh, they're so much worse than I thought they'd be, they're just people. And it's a great demonstration of sometimes they're just people. Sometimes you get to see these people for no facade. No, I need to put on a show. I need to be a certain person for sponsors. I can just be transparently myself. And that was awesome.
I think that's something that is a big draw with Kevin is the fact that, I mean it. You see what you see is what you get. It's down to earth. He wants to work hard for the Northwest and for the Southwest and West Coast racing, and he's very proud of his son.
I will also say, whether or not this has changed, I don't know. But upon me asking Keelan last year who his favorite hockey team was, he said it was the Florida Panthers.
Good choice, Keelan.
He's from North Carolina, so I don't know
he
if
likes to win.
Doesn't know the Hurricanes exist, or if he
likes to win.
I'll have to ask him again when we're at Wenatchee.
See if his answers changed.
Keelan, it's your favorite hockey team, so the Florida Panthers. In a sea of people asking about racing, I'm going to ask you about hockey.
There you go.
That is my life. That is the way I've chosen to live. On that terrible disappointment. On that note, let's talk about the next 3 weeks of NASCAR racing. There is a lot coming down the line, most notably. Oh, actually, hold on. First, hey, Caden, do you have a pick for the Wenatchee 200?
For the Wenatchee 200 this year, I'm just going to be taking a page out of Ben's book. And by that, I mean taking his exact pick in Cole Raz.
Thanks, Caden, or no thanks. I don't know if you edited something there. It's either insane, great, or maybe you picked a driver who's not even on the entry list. Really, that's the best part. I really hope, I don't know if he will input what he says before he listens to us keep going. I really hope he puts Thomas Stanford as a demonstration of the fact that he does not know who races a probe and who races a super late model.
It's okay, Caden. It takes time to learn.
I understand, Caden. Trust me, I have two of my best friends in the world cannot tell the difference between any race car. They cannot identify them based off what they look like. And I truly mean that. I mean, I have shown them a late model sitting next to a sprint car and asked them to identify which one the sprint car was, and they stare at me blankly.
Sounds about right.
Hi, if you're listening to this, I just want to remind you, we drove past Furniture Row when we were in Colorado 6 times, and the only time you recognized that I was telling you the same story about Furniture Row was the 4th time we drove by it, not the 5th or 6th.
Sounds about right.
Love you, Kai. 3 weeks of NASCAR coming down the line. Their next race is the Charlotte Memorial Day weekend, followed then by Nashville and Michigan. Now, I'd say this is a pretty simple stretch here. On the Charlotte side of things, my pick for the Coke 600 winner is Kyle Larson. Yours was Joey Logano. And Caden, you can guess who Caden picked.
Did he pick the Todd father?
He picked the Todd father.
Derek?
Yeah.
I'd like to use my first swap of the year if I can.
Oh, he's gonna use a swap. Yes, you can.
Yeah, I really don't think Joey Logano is going to win the Coke 600 at this current rate. Man, I really don't know who's good right now because none of the Chevys feel like they have really good speed.
Here's what I'll offer to you.
Yeah.
We visited a couple of mile and a half so far. And we're just going to do the mile and a halfs that are more traditional mile and a halfs. So that is the cookie cutters of Vegas, Kansas, and Texas, which were Hamlin, Reddick, and Chase Elliott.
Yeah, I'll stick with. I'll take my boy. I'll just take Danny.
Hamlin,
like a safe-
100%
Feels like a safe.
a solid bet, I would say.
Yeah, can't root against him. Makes it a little bit easier for me. Yeah,
I really do think this is the Kyle Larson breakthrough race.
he was the other
I
one
think
I was considering. So.
Chevys have been good enough. They haven't been great. I don't think Chevy's been great enough to carry a lesser talent effectively. I think Chase Elliott has clearly demonstrated himself to be the best Chevy so far this season. But Kyle Larson's still one hell of a wheelman, even if sometimes he forgets to be sane and goes from being the greatest driver in the world to I'm going to crash into everything in front of me. That's the Kyle Larson experience. For every beautiful championship run, I'm going to run a sprint car and I'm going to run a NASCAR in the same week. You have the I'm going to crash straight into the sand barrels at the entrance of pit road at Homestead, Miami. That's
I think about
the dichotomy of Kyle Larson.
I think about him hitting the wall in that Tony the Tiger scheme throwback here at Darlington, like 10 laps into the race.
So with Charlotte, we turn our attention then to the NASCAR O'Reilly Auto Parts Series with their mouthful of a name. Last week, I picked Taylor Gray. Ben picked Parker Retzlaff. Oh, Ben.
Had to take a swing.
Ben, that was such a good pick, too. He had such a good car and just the wrong place, the wrong time. He had Parker Retzlaff. That was a heartbreaker for the driver of the Viking number 99.
Had to take a swing.
Wait, what? Oh no, it's just broken. Sorry, when I was scrolling through the O'Reilly Auto Parts results, it was showing Watkins Glen instead of Dover. I'm like, what do you mean? What do you mean Parker Retzlaff got back to 7th? I watched him DNF. Retzlaff, of course, as I mentioned, DNFing, he finishes 38th. Today I picked Taylor Gray, who finished 32nd. Ben, your pick of Parker Retzlaff, as good as it was, finished 38th. Jesse Love, Caden's pick, was the highest, finishing 23rd. Now we head to Charlotte with this team. Doing the same thing we just did. Vegas, Kansas, and Texas all been visited by this series as well. And I'm noticing that Kyle Larson won 2 of those races.
Is he running this
Thanks,
weekend?
Kyle Larson. I have no idea if he is. But the Kansas race won by my favorite pick, which is to say the one I pick the most often of Taylor Gray.
Disassociating.
That might be the universe telling me to pick Taylor Gray again.
Is he feeling spicy?
Would be my 5th time picking him this season. Let's see here.
It's still not the lowest. The top father is still the lowest. So you want to lock in the Gray.
Hold on. I gotta do some math first. We're gonna see what his average finish is when I pick him. 20.7.
Maybe
that's 20.7 with a win in there. There's a win coloring that to make it look better. I'm also noticing I appear to have picked him at every single mile and a half. No, I picked Ryan Sieg at Texas. Okay. Well,
get a load of this guy. He thought Ryan Sieg was going to win Texas.
I didn't say I thought he was going to win. I said I hoped he would win.
Yeah, that's.
I've picked him 3 times.
I like Ryan Sieg. I mean, I would love to see.
Truth be told, I'm going to be honest with you. I think this is a good time to go with Parker Retzlaff. I think Retzlaff has something to prove. I think he's been a solid driver on this type of track. Last time I picked him was in the season opener. I think, Parker Retzlaff is a good driver and good equipment. Give me the driver, the number 99.
For Charlotte, for O'Reilly, I'd like Ross Chastain, sir, driving for Junior Motorsports.
No, I know.
Last year's Cup Series winner is going to. I'm not going to pick him for trucks, but I'll let you know he is attempting to run all 1,000 miles. He's running all 3 races at Charlotte this weekend. So
it's not the only one who's doing that. Notably,
no. I should have switched my pick to Catherine Legg. Catherine Legg attempting to run the double. Very cool. She's not going to win Charlotte because she's.
What I was actually referring to is Connor Zelich.
That's true. He's also pulling the triple.
As Connor Zelich pulling the triple. Notably, he will be driving the number 77 truck in the truck series. We'll talk about that in just a moment. That's definitely not a hint to any certain editor who I'm going to ask for his pick later on maybe a driver he could pick since he has an obsession with picking the number 77.
The Zillbillies.
In the meantime, though, hey, Caden, let's hear your pick for Charlotte in the O'Reilly series.
Planning this move, everything going on. It's got me really busy, a little stressed out, and feeling a little under the weather. And so you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to be calling the doc for Charlotte. Give me Patrick Staropoli.
Fascinating.
That sure is a pick.
It sure is. I'm sure it was a pick. Which brings us to the Charlotte Truck Series race. Now, these drivers have only been to one traditional mile and a half this year, that being Texas, where the Hurricane Carson Hocevar got it done. Now, these drivers here at Charlotte in for a treat, I'm sure, but checking in on how Dover went for our picks, I commented to my roommate, wow, my pick did pretty bad at the end of the Dover race. My pick was Brendan McQueen, the Butterbean, who got 13th, and I thought that wasn't great. And then I looked at where the other two's picks finished, because Ben's was Tyler Ankrum, who finished 25th, and Caden Carson Hocevar, who finished 31st.
You put Dover behind me.
You ready to put Dover behind you?
I'm
That's
ready to put
fair
Dover behind
enough. Hey, your favorite driver won $1 million, though. So
That's true.
can't be all bad.
Cue the bare naked
That being
ladies.
said, it is Charlotte now, not Dover anymore. So, Ben, who you got to win this one?
Derek, I'd like Ty Majeski.
Oh, Ben going with
He's win
a pick
hunting.
that is a regular.
Ford needs something good going their way. Don't see why this could be a good run for Majeski.
I 100% agree. I really do think that Majeski has the potential to be for a great run. But hey, I have been the Ram advocate all year long. I don't see a reason why. Actually, nope, never mind. I'm getting ahead of myself. That's my pick for later. That's going down here. I'm confusing the different drivers. Forgive me on that one. Forgiving the different drivers who are racing that truck this year. I have been a pretty big Ram advocate, though. That being said, Charlotte, I don't think Pastrana is the right man behind the wheel of the free agent truck to get them any big victory there. I got my pick. I think I'm going to stick with this idea that I do have a lot of faith in Ram, a lot more faith than most people have in Ram, and I think justifiably so. But give me a fairly experienced driver in the wide world of NASCAR. Give me the number 16 truck of Justin Haley.
That's a good pick.
With that, I'm going to turn it over to Caden. Caden, let's hear your pick.
For Truck Series at Charlotte, I'm debating between two picks and trying to decide which one is going to get me less hate for picking a basic, shoe-in winner. But I think I'm going to be taking Caden Honeycutt over the Hurricane this time. So yeah, give me Caden Honeycutt.
Sure. Let's snake our way back across the board. So we'll start with the Truck Series at Nashville. NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series heading to the Nashville Super Speedway. Ben, who do you think can get it done in Nashville?
I'll stay kind of chalky. I'll take Brendan McQueen.
Brendan?
Yeah. I feel like that's a good track for him to kind of conquer. I haven't picked too many Ram trucks this year, so.
You have not. You have not. Notably, the only other time you've picked Ram was Colin Braun at St. Pete, which was not a bad pick. Let's make that clear.
Yeah.
Again, we're kind of condemned to the full-time drivers for this particular edition. Not that that's a bad thing, but my pick for Nashville is a driver who is full-time this season, but hasn't really made a splash, despite previous success running this series and running with this team. I'm really curious to see what he can do this year. But he's a former winner at this very track in 2024, his last full-time season. Give me the driver, the number 91, Christian Eckes.
It's also a good pick.
So Caden, looking back, has only ever picked one series regular. That's going to obviously change because Caden's going to need to pick another series regular now.
Caden, you could take a flyer and say Clarkson Hocevar and hope.
Yeah, you can hope. Up to you. So Caden, your pick for the Nashville Super Speedway Truck Series race.
I'm going to be taking Lane Riggs.
All right. Snaking back across the board. Hold on. Well, our fun fact about our board, it actually is missing a race.
What could it be missing?
It's missing Nashville it was missing Nashville for the Auto Parts Series. Caden just added that. Now that that's added in, the O'Reilly Auto Parts Series tackling the Nashville Super Speedway. Last season when they went there, it was Justin Allgaier who got it done. Question on everybody's mind is who will it be this year? Ben.
Give me Quapple, Derek. This is going to be his breakout.
I think this is a race where he's in the 9. I don't know, but we're
Even
going to
if he's
operate
not.
as if it is. All right. My pick is a driver who's won here before, not in this series, but to pick up his rookie or his first win of his rookie year. Give me the driver, the number 88, who might not be in the 88. We don't really know. Rajah Caruth. So both Ben and I are going to go with drivers who might not be in the cars that we think they're in.
Be rooting for nonetheless.
We will be rooting for them. Hayden, pick is yours.
Give me the driver of the number 2, Jesse Love.
Thanks, Caden.
Good guy, that Kate.
Good guy, that Caden. Nashville, the Cracker Barrel 400 for the Cup Series. The picks that we laid out. Caden went with Chase Briscoe in the number 19. Ben went with Ryan Blaney. I went with Carson Hocevar. Still pretty confident in that, personally.
As you should be.
And yeah, that's the Cup Series. We can drop back down, as I said, snaking our way across the schedule to Michigan. The Firekeepers Casino 400. My pick to win that one is Kyle Larson. Yours is Christopher Bell. And Caden's is Eric Jones, which
Sure, Caden.
not insane, but
No.
not expected, I guess.
It would probably be a shock. I mean, he ran really well this last weekend.
And he did. Well, here's another thing. The O'Reilly Auto Parts Series is off, but the Truck Series is not. The Craftsman Truck Series tackling the 2-mile oval of Michigan International Raceway. Oh boy. Taking a look at the past, the last time the Truck Series was here, last season, it was Stuart Friesen who got the job done. I forgot that this is where he picked up his win.
It was funny. I was actually considering Stuart Friesen in my head before you said that. I was kind of like,
Yeah,
never really
this
seen
is his most recent win. It's actually doing pretty badly in the point standings. My
Okay.
pick for this race, though, I mean, this is not a super difficult track, but I think one that requires a solid level of skill. So I'm going to go with a driver who I think is probably, this might be controversial, I think the most underrated on his entire race team. So my pick to win at Michigan, picking up his first career victory in any series of NASCAR, driver of the number 98. Give me Jake Garcia, my first Ford of the year.
pick. I'm gonna take I guess I'll just take Lane Riggs. I'll take a Ford as well, but probably the less cool Ford to pick. No offense to Lane. I like Lane.
Boring, but not a bad answer. And for the last time, we'll turn it over to Caden. Caden, your pick for the Michigan race for the Truck Series.
I'm going to swing for the fences a bit on this one and say that Minnie Tyrell is going to be picking up his first win at Michigan.
Fabulous. I'm sure that was a great pick or a terrible pick. Knowing Caden, it was nowhere in the middle. Taking a look at your point standings here this deep into the season. 9 races for the Truck Series. It's Caden Honeycutt atop the standings, leading Lane Riggs, Chandler Smith, Gio Ruggiero, Ty Majeski. Your last truck in the playoffs right now is Tyler Ankrum. Joining him up there, other than the 5 already named, Christian Eckes, Ben Rhodes, Jake Garcia, and Stuart Friesen. Outside looking in is Daniel Hemrick, who runs 12th in the season-long point standings, as well as the 2 best Rams, Brendan Queen and Justin Haley, 13th and 14th. Andres Perez in 15th, Tanner Gray in 16th. Grant Enfinger having a rough go to start the season, sits 17th as the lowest driver to make all of the first 9 races is Chris Wright, who is 21st. I will also add, you might have heard me skip over the 11th place spot. You heard me say Daniel Hemrick, the first truck out in 12th. Yeah, that's because 11th is Corey Heim, who's not eligible to race in the chase, but is still high up there, despite running 4 races as compared to the 9 of everyone else in the top 21.
Yeah, I think
That should say something.
I think he's pretty good, Derek. I don't know. What do you think?
I would say so. 12 cars get into the O'Reilly Auto Parts Series chase. Taking a look at who those 12 are right now. Your points leader by a whopping, actually, Ben, give me a guess. How many points ahead is the points leader in the NASCAR O'Reilly Auto Parts Series after 14 races?
190 something.
It's pretty close. It's 175. Justin Allgaier leads over Sheldon Creed, who runs second. Jesse Love in third, 177 back. Corey Day in fourth. Brandon Jones in fifth. Sammy Smith, the second junior car we see pop up, he's in sixth. Austin Hill in seventh. Carson Kvapil, eighth. Sam Mayer runs ninth. Taylor Gray, 10th. Parker Retzlaff, 11th, would make the playoffs if make the chase if they started today, which that's spectacular. That's awesome for a smaller team like him and Viking Motorsports. William Sawalich, as of now, the last car in. 5 points out of the picture behind Sawalich is Brent Cruz. The driver with 4 less races under his belt has been proving to be one heck of a competitor. A point behind him, so 6 points out of the picture right now is Rajah Caruth. Ryan Sieg in 15th, Brandon Poole in 16th. Other notable drivers outside of the picture, Harrison Burton in 21st. I know Ben's a fan of this guy, but I gotta rail against him a little bit. Patrick Staropoli is 23rd. What a downgrade from Nick Sanchez to Patrick Staropoli so far. And you have to feel for Sanchez, who was cut loose by this team, and his career has been stoned to death. He went to race with AM Racing, who has shut down their racing operations, it was announced this week.
Yeah, mid-season. That's never good.
I really hope a Truck Series team next year, or ideally an O'Reilly Auto Parts Series team, but I'm being realistic here. Pick him up. That is an incredibly talented driver who just so unfortunate for him.
He's just chilling out there.
Now we turn our attention to the final series, the NASCAR Cup Series, the pinnacle of stock car racing. Tyler Reddick still on top of the points by 129 over Denny Hamlin. Chase Elliott third, Ryan Blaney in fourth, Chris Buescher fifth. Ty Gibbs, Carson Hocevar, Kyle Larson, Brad Keselowski, Bubba Wallace, Christopher Bell, William Byron, Ryan Preece, Daniel Suarez, Austin Cindric, Shane Van Gisbergen. Your 16 drivers in the chase as of now. Notably in that picture is Ryan Preece, Daniel Suarez, 2 drivers a lot of people I think would have put outside at the start of the season. Notably out of the picture, Chase Briscoe is 6 points out, and he's the closest. The next one is Joey Logano, who is 38 points out. Ross Chastain out of the picture in 19th. AJ Allmendinger in 20th. Isn't that surprising? But the fact that he's in this company right here is crazy. Connor Zilich still stuck back in 32nd despite his promise coming into this year. Alex Bowman has made it up to 34th, passing Cole Custer and Cody Ware despite having 4 less starts. And that is your points picture for all of the 3 top NASCAR series. We leave behind NASCAR. Turn our attention to the ice. Ben, they did it.
They finally did.
They finally did it. If you don't know what we're talking about, born and raised in Snohomish County, the 2 of us, unless I'm incorrect about that, Ben.
No, you're correct.
Born and raised in Snohomish County, the 2 of us, Ben and I. Caden has grown up here in Snohomish County as well. One of the things we take pride in this county is the Everett Silvertips, our WHO hockey team who've been around as long as I've been alive. My mentor in announcing, the man who helped me get my first announcing job, is the PA voice of that team, which only makes me love them more. They did it. Your WHL champions in 2026 are the Everett Silvertips, who win the Ed Chenoweth Cup in 5 games against the Prince Albert Raiders, including taking all 3 home games against the Raiders, silencing that incredibly loud Prince Albert crowd. Julius Miettinen wins the MVP for the WHL playoffs. It's cathartic. I got to watch it on Victory Plus. I followed a couple of games throughout the season, but every playoff game I could catch. I love the sport of hockey. I love getting to call it, and I would love nothing more to one day be one of the voices of the Everett Silvertips. Still in a little bit of shock they did it.
Yeah. Hang on, Kraken fans. Miettinen's headed your way here soon, so
yeah.
Get excited about that, I guess, because the team is
something to get excited about.
Yeah, it was awesome. We went to a game this year. I went to a handful, actually, about more games than I went to more Silvertips games this year than I think I did like the last 5 years combined, if I'm being real. So this team was fun. I mean, we'll get one more year of Landon DuPont, Derek, so we got to cherish it.
Hey, if I'm DuPont, I guess they might just take you straight out after you get drafted if you're DuPont. But
He's probably playing right away.
truly, I think Landon DuPont is a joy to watch, but really what makes this team special is it is a full team.
Yeah.
You watch this group operate as a well-oiled machine, especially in those games in Prince Albert, where from the bottom to the top, this was such an all-star lineup, such a solid, amazing core that came together to produce and shut down Prince Albert, not just defensively, but also the great performance of Anders Miller in the net. What a great pickup over the offseason for Everett. Don't get me wrong. I think that Wednesday game had one of the most controversial calls I've ever seen in any sport occur. Outside of that, though, like Prince Albert might have had a way into that game if that goes a different way. That being said, Prince Albert got dominated in two of those other games. And it was a show of force from Everett, who now get to go play in the Memorial Cup to try and become the CHL champions against the Kitchener Rangers, a team from the QMHL that I'm sure Ben will help me find, and the Kelowna Rockets, who they've already beaten. So the Everett Silvertips will head off to the Memorial Cup to decide who wins the entire Canadian Hockey League, the CHL. And there in Kelowna, they will meet the host Rockets, who they've already defeated in a 5-game series on their path to the WHL title, as well as the Kitchener Rangers from the OHL. And oh boy, this is going to be a nightmare to say because it's all in French. It's an indigenous tribe name and then a French team name. So I'm so sorry. The Shikawatimi Sanguini.
Good job.
Or Saugani. Regardless, the Quebec representative, whose name is a nightmare to pronounce, they will be there as well. We hope Everett will win the entire CHL and wish them the best of luck. It would be the first time since I believe the Edmonton Oil Kings that a WHL team won the Memorial Cup. I'm checking that right now. Yes, the Edmonton Oil Kings in 2014, the last WHL team to win that cup. Notably on the coaching staff of those 2014 Oil Kings was Steve Hamilton, the head coach for the Everett Silvertips. Stepping back from the closer look at the hockey world we know and love here in the Northwest is the NHL itself. We've entered the conference finals, and by the time our hiatus comes to an end, it will have finished the Stanley Cup title. A maximum of 21 more games of hockey remain in the business. My pick, the Colorado Avalanche on one side of the bracket. Ben's still alive, the Carolina Hurricanes on the other side of the bracket. Caden's pick of the Edmonton Oilers eliminated in round one. The matchup that remains is Colorado and Vegas on one side, and on the other, the Montreal Canadiens and the Carolina Hurricanes. We're in for a good one. That's certainly something to say. The Canadiens have taken both their previous series to Game 7, so they've played 14 games of hockey. By contrast, the Canes have played 8, clean, sweeping both of their previous series on their path to get here. A 6 hockey game difference between the two of them. You got to wonder how well rested are the Canes coming into this? How battle hardened are the Canadiens? Personally, I really think Montreal can make it. I think they can make it past the Canes. If they can just wear down this Carolina Hurricanes team that is not known for great goaltending with the youth movement of Montreal, they could really have a shot to get past the Hurricanes, give them their first loss at the very least. I think the Avs will drop a game, maybe 2, to the Golden Knights, but I really have not seen anything out of Vegas that tells me they can contend with a proper powerhouse quite like the current Colorado Avalanche. That being said, hey, I still think my pick's going to win. I bet Ben still thinks his pick's going to win. Mm-hmm. I think both of those are reasonable beliefs to have. We'll see who is right coming down the stretch here for the Stanley Cup playoffs. Who will hoist Lord Stanley is the question. With that, we're going to break it up a little bit out of order, unless Caden decides he doesn't want to do that and just tags it onto the end. But I'm going to invite Caden to come on in, do his Barksdale Baseball Basement segment right now, but we're not quite done with the episode.
All right, time to talk about the Mariners. So it's been an interesting week, to say the least. A lot of highs and a lot of lows. That's kind of just how the Mariners are this year. They're very inconsistent, and it's frustrating because consistency is very important in baseball when you play 162 games. So let's start with some of the bad stuff. Get that out of the way. Dan Wilson's managing. Oh my gosh, guys. It was a bit of a problem last year, and it's still a problem. He had a just rookie mistake, not understanding rules with taking a pitcher out after a mound visit. It's just basic stuff that you should know as a manager, and that costs the Mariners. That's situation I'm talking about actually is that another bad moment. It actually happened today as of recording. For you, it will be yesterday, Tuesday's game. Luis Castillo made his first ever relief appearance at the major league level and started strong, but then unfortunately ended up blowing the game, and we lost 2-1 after scoring only one run on one hit all game. So, and we were winning up until that point. So he blew the game, and then Dan Wilson had it. It was a rough game today, but luckily Monday's game was one of the best ones of the year so far. We beat the White Sox there, and notably Colt Emerson in his second ever game gets his first major league hit that is a 3-run bomb into right field. Just digs out a changeup from the dirt basically and puts it into the right field seats. So that was really cool to see. He's obviously going to have a long, successful career with the Mariners, signing that extension before he even played a single game at the major league level. So I'm very excited to continue to see him develop his game. We unfortunately lost a series to the Padres. So we got swept. Not what you want to see. So the sweep, it's a team you can maybe take a sweep from, but you want to see at least one there, ideally. So the rotation continues to carry the team, even though the offense is horribly inconsistent. Sure, it's very frustrating for our starters. Logan Gilbert had a great start, ended with a no decision and a loss. Bryce Miller in today's start was very strong, 7 strikeouts, I believe, and yeah, we lost that game. So it's really an inconsistent offense. That is our biggest problem here. If we can figure out how to be more consistent, and I think part of that is that we have a lot of guys injured right now. Brendan Donovan's out. He's usually a great day-to-day guy. Kyle's out. The list goes on and on. So I'm not too worried, but we got to figure something out because the mountains and the valleys are not ideal. So yeah, that's your Mariners update for now. It'll be a bit until the next one. So I encourage you to keep up to date on your own. There's usually a game every day. So again, I've plugged it before, but listen to Rick Riz's radio broadcasts of the games because he does a great job every time, and it's his last year. So go send him off and enjoy some good baseball.
Wonderful. Thank you, Caden. Lightning, as always, the Mariners, of course, still struggling. We'll see what they can do. I did watch a Mariners game with him. I will say, I can't pretend like I don't care about them in any way. I do still watch them every once in a while.
Good. They probably lost.
They did. Yeah. The main event, kind of the thing we've been building toward, is the granddaddy of them all. That's not what they call it. They call it many things. They don't even call it the Great American Race, but it's the biggest race in motorsports. The Indianapolis 500, the month of May, the culmination of IndyCar, has arrived. And if you, like some people who I know listen to this podcast, do not know anything about the Indianapolis 500, let's talk a little bit about Indy. The 500 was first ran in 1911, one of the oldest races in the business. The first ever winner of the race today, power. He invented a certain little thing that we all use in our cars today, which he debuted on his car that won the first ever Indy 500. That slightly helpful tool was the rear view mirror. Ray Howard, the first ever winner of this race. There have been many well-decorated winners and successful drivers who've passed through victory lane in the Indianapolis 500. It is a race unlike any other in all the world. This is, if I remember correctly, number 110 on the list of Indianapolis 500s. And it's a pretty stacked field. No bump day this year, which is a shame. But let's set the stage a little bit. And if you were someone who'd never heard of the Indy 500, what would be the first questions you ask?
Who should I be watching?
Ask me a different question so we can build to that eventual one.
Okay. Why is this such a big deal?
That's a good one. The Indianapolis Raceway is one of the oldest racetracks in the world, one of the oldest ovals in the United States, and one of the single most iconic in racing, period. It's less of a oval you picture with NASCAR and more of a rectangle with the edges filed down to make nice little rounded corners. It is a 2.5 mile oval. And on race day, it becomes the second largest city in Indiana. The racetrack itself. 350 to 400,000 people will be on the grounds of the Indianapolis Motor Speedway on race day. This is a huge event for all of Indianapolis, all of Indiana, really. I think the best thing is that Ben was telling me before the show. Ben, do you want to share that thing you mentioned before the show?
Oh, like 1 in every 900 Americans will be there.
That's one of them. The other one was it's one of the groups that will be in attendance this year.
Oh, the Indiana football team. Apparently, they didn't really do any events or meetings or anything. It's winning the national championship, except for the Indy 500. Because Kirk said that. He said when the Indy 500 comes calling, you say yes.
And that's special. That's a testament to what this race means. It is such a huge deal, such an amazing show. I've gotten the opportunity to walk on the Yard of Bricks, as it's called, and just take in what it's like to be in a place like that. I've kissed the bricks. I've picked up chunks of tire rubber, marbles sitting up in the upper groove. There's nothing like it, truly. It is the holiest of grounds in the racing world. And that's why this race means something. This race is steeped in tradition, whether it be the Victory Lane bottle of milk provided by the Indiana Dairy Farmers Association. Who all the drivers fill out what type of milk they want. They add little preference cards on like things they want added to it. For example, back in 2023, Ed Carpenter asked for whole buttermilk. That's psychotic. But
no offense to Ed, but thank goodness he didn't win.
That's truly psychotic. I do want to say that. In 2001, Helio Castroneves started the tradition of, I won the race, I'm going to pour the milk on my head, which it's got to be unimaginably horrible smelling the next day. Nothing beats a racing suit smelling of milk and sweat. That's what everybody wants. They don't. Whoever watches that doesn't get paid enough, no matter what they're paid. But every single race, for those of you who follow me on Instagram, you might remember back when Indiana was making their playoff run, I kept repeating a certain phrase, "back home again." That is not a reference to any sort of football connection in Indiana. It's a reference to this race, where every single year, part of opening ceremonies, along with a salute to the service members, along with the national anthem, is a performance of the song Back Home Again in Indiana. A song that makes me tear up, and I'm not from Indiana. I mean, anyway, none of my family is from Indiana. Just this race means so much to people in the racing world. It's just special. The Borg Warner Trophy is one of the largest and coolest trophies in the business, where every single driver's face is engraved upon it once they win it. You don't actually get the trophy, notably. I should emphasize that. You do not get the physical trophy because it's too big. You get a small replica of it because the base Borg Warner is 5 feet and 4 inches tall.
It's a big trophy.
There are people shorter than that. Adult human beings shorter than the Borg Warner trophy. It is enormous. I've seen it in person. It's insane. It's awesome. And it's also made of almost entirely sterling silver, so it's horrifically expensive. Do not steal it.
Good luck getting out of the building.
Yeah, I mean, it is a 5.5 foot tall trophy. But the Indianapolis 500 also pays a ridiculous. The original running of the Indianapolis 500 had a $25,000 purse in 1911. Which is considered remarkable. It was equivalent to 82 pounds of gold. Was the value of the purse. Today, the purse of the Indianapolis 500 is $20 million. That is how much is dispersed throughout the field. Alex Palou last season made $3.8 million winning the Indianapolis 500. Year before that, Joseph Newgarden made 4.3 because he got a bonus for winning it 2 years in a row, which is a thing that you get. There is so much history to this event, and that's why people care about it. Why there's an entire culture surrounding this race.
It's a pretty special deal, and it's a part of the greatest day in motorsports. Monaco for Formula One, and
Which isn't happening this year.
I know, which isn't happening this year, which is dumb. Coke 600.
Yeah, it's incredible. The Indianapolis 500. I will also note it's only fair I give the traditional cause for the milk, which is in 1933, Lewis Meyer won his second ever Indy 500, and he requested a glass of buttermilk. Well, when he won the third one in 1936, he requested another one, but was given a bottle, and a photographer got a photo of him drinking the milk and holding up a 3 for his third win, and it hit everywhere. A local dairy company executive recognized the opportunity and offered a bottle of milk to the winner of every future race except from 1947 to 1955.
How many?
It's great.
How many?
It's truly amazing. Notably, here's from the Wikipedia page, just got to give this shout out. In 1993, Indianapolis 500 winner Emerson Fittipaldi, who owned and operated an orange grove, drank orange juice instead of milk during the televised winner's interview. He also eventually drank from the milk bottle in the post-race ceremonies, but the broadcast was over and the damage was done. The snub led to Fittipaldi being booed during driver introductions the next race on the schedule. The same boo continued to Fittipaldi as late as 2008.
Yeah, that's what I talk about. How many?
So, you want an idea of how much tradition means to these people? There's a pretty solid example. The Indy 500 is special. Then you got another question that people might have about the Indy 500.
How fast are they going?
These drivers are above 200 miles an hour the whole race. That is one of the coolest parts. At the entry to corners, they'll hit 240. The qualifying times are set based off average speed over 4 laps. And on the low end, the lowest of the low end, those are usually 210. The pole lap this year was 232 from Alex Palou. So these are fast race cars. Holding that speed for such a long time. There's always been a lot of discourse about, is a race car driver an athlete? And the answer is yes. But even other race car drivers from other disciplines will comment on how strenuous the Indy 500 is. There's so much force on your body. And I'll admit, there's been so many measures taken that have reduced that. The aero screen is taking so much of the air blasting into your face from an open cockpit that used to be the case. Still going 230 miles an hour, just air on you. Nothing in front of you, no windshield, just blasting into your face. That's kind of the craziness of IndyCar. And let me emphasize, these things are safe. We've seen some violent wrecks
I'll say
over the past few years.
As safe as any race car can be.
Yeah. These things are built to withstand impacts of above 15 Gs, built to slap the wall and just get destroyed and keep going. Or not keep going, but keep the driver safe. Keep the driver going. And Indianapolis is also not where we get the tragedies in
How many-
these past couple decades. Thankfully, we don't want tragedies in racing, but these cars are built to go this fast. They are built to be on the edge of what we can produce as human beings with speed.
How
Any
many
other questions, Ben? As
How
a
many-
representative of the people.
how many cars are there?
Good one. Starting in 1912 and enduring as a tradition to today, 33 cars are the field of the Indianapolis 500. You heard me mention the term earlier, but it's not really applicable to this season. There's a day called Bump Day. Indy 500 qualifying happens the week before the race. And to start, every single driver who wants to run will run a qualifying lap. They will all get the chance, or 4 qualifying laps, but a qualifying run. They'll get a chance to set down their time. At the top, I believe it's been 27, it's been 30 in the past, but the top drivers are locked in. And then the top 12 get to race off to narrow it to 6, and then the top 6 race off to the pole. At the bottom of the order is Bump Day, where we determine who goes home, whose weekend is over, who doesn't make the Indy 500. And it's produced some great drama over the years. McLaren has missed the show before while running full-time to the season. Last year, Andretti almost had a former Indy 500 winner miss the show. It is tight. It is difficult. But if you can do it, it's something special. When a smaller team pulls off a miracle run and makes the 33-car field, you can see how much it means to these people. I mean, notably, this is on the other end of things. Last year, 2025, Robert Schwartzman won the pole for the Indianapolis 500 for Prima Racing. He was a rookie. It was Prima's first full-time season, and also their last full-time season because they're gone now. It was a former Formula One development program.
Yeah.
Went through that. And he came to Indianapolis and fell in love with the place and went a fast time. That is the impact. You could see it on his face, on his team's faces as they won the pole. That is the import of making the show. 33 cars race the Indy 500. I will also add, they come to the green flag in rows of 3. They do not come in rows of 2. They also get the okay to start accelerating. I believe the entrance into turn 3 is where they're allowed to start going, which is pretty crazy and makes the results look, or the restarts look very, very interesting from the perspective of most asphalt racing fans who are used to a restart zone or a restart line on the front stretch or exit of turn 4. And then I think it's time for that last question.
Who should I be watching, Derek?
Oh boy. There's so many people to be watching at any Indy 500. But let's talk about former winners, because there's a lot of them in this field. Most notably on the pole is the defending winner, Alex Palou for Chip Ganassi, driving the number 10, sponsored by DHL. He is your big one to watch. He's the dominant force in IndyCar these days. He is incredibly well decorated. He's the defending winner of this race, but he's not always the best on the ovals. That's probably his biggest weakness going into this. That being said, he figured it out last year. He has a good team behind him, but Indy, you need a good team, you need good equipment, you need good luck. And on the topic of luck, let's talk about Alexander Rossi. Rossi, who races the Ed Carpenter number 20, or hopefully will race the Ed Carpenter number 20, as he was involved in a pretty big practice incident the day of recording this. Rossi won the 100th running of this race back in 2016, his first ever Indy 500 start. He has had better runs. He's had great runs, great races since that haven't ended in a victory. He's chasing the luck side of things, looking to finally pull it off and get it done. Takuma Sato is a multi-time winner of this race. He's chasing another one, this time running with Ray Hall Letterman Lanigan Racing. Takuma Sato is chasing the goal of getting another one under his belt. To be a multi-time winner is something special already. He's a 2-time winner. But to be a 3-time winner, you join a pretty elite club. On that note, driver with the number 06 for Meyer Shank. An Indy-only start, one of only 4 4-time winners in the history of the Indianapolis 500 is Helio Castroneves. Castro Neves is 51 years old. He won his last Indy 500 when he was 46. He is spectacular. He is a fun driver to watch. And while he's starting in the mid-pack, never count out a driver with as much experience as Helio Castroneves. If he were to win this race, and this is the biggest thing to underline, he will become the only driver ever in the 115-year history of this race to win it 5 times. That is more than legends AJ Foyt, Al Unser, and Rick Mears, all of whom are the icons of IndyCar. Those drivers would have to pay tribute to Helio Castroneves if he were to get a 5th one. That would be spectacular. There's a lot of other people who are trying to beat him. Joseph Newgarden would love to get a 3rd one and rebound with Team Penske. David Malukas would love to get one, driver of the number 12 machine for Team Penske. He's coming off of a year that did not go his way, injured himself in an accident, got fired from his team. With a new opportunity at Penske, it would be a great way to show off, hey, you made a mistake letting me go. I just won the Indy 500. On that same sort of coin, you have a driver like Will Power, the driver who was replaced by David Malukas, raced almost his entire career with Team Penske, won the 2018 Indy 500 with them, have won 2 IndyCar championships with them. He wants this. He wants another. And so does Scott Dixon, one of the greatest of all time ever to race in IndyCar. Only has 1 Indy 500, but has 6 IndyCar titles. He would love to add to that list in any way, and it all starts here at the 500. Just going down other names to watch. Rinus VeeKay, always great at this racetrack. Felix Rosenqvist was a real contender, almost got to the fast time. Mick Schumacher, a rookie, son of the legendary Michael Schumacher. Connor Daly, the local boy out of the Indianapolis metropolitan area. Jack Harvey, usually a commentator these days, a pit reporter for Fox's coverage of IndyCar, will be behind the wheel this week, racing in the Indy 500 for Dreyer Reinbold Racing. Roman Grosjean, IndyCar driver, former IMSA driver, former Formula One driver. Santino Ferrucci would love to get AJ Foyt Racing another win for them. Graham Rahal would love to cement his family legacy. And the perpetual bridesmaid, Pato O'Ward, is the final driver I will mention. Pato O'Ward carries one of the best finishes in the average finishes in the history of the Indy 500, including 2 second-place finishes. He's only finished outside of the top 5 once in his career. It was a DNF as he wrecked on the second-to-last lap of the race. Pato O'Ward wants this arguably more than anybody else, and he'll be chasing it again this year at the Indy 500. That's your Indy 500 preview, which leads us straight into, Ben, I'm going to give you the first pick. Who wins the Indianapolis 500 in 2026?
So I've really been mulling this over for the last week or so, watching back
As you should.
qualifying and practice. But I think you set the stage already for me. I'd picked this earlier in the week. I was set. I knew I wanted it. I knew it was finally time. But you set the stage actually for me for perfectly, Derek. I do think he finally gets it done. I'm going to take Pato O'Ward to win this year's Indy 500. The bridesmaid no longer.
I hope so.
I know. It's a heart pick more than, I definitely think Palou, Newgarden, Rossi, I definitely would put all of them in front of him. But yeah, give me Pato.
The heart pick is fun. I can relate. There are 3 drivers, all of whom I want to go with because of my heart. And I'm going to rule them out in order. 1, I don't think this is Helio's year. I do want him to get number 5, and I really hope he gets number 5. I don't think he will. Helio, the clock is ticking, but he will be around for a while longer. He told me, or not, he didn't tell me. He told everybody last season that he will race in the Indy 500 till he can't race anymore. That race means everything to him. He's all in on that pursuit of number 5. Jack Harvey obviously is going to be one of my favorites. He's a pit reporter. He's an announcer now who's stepping behind the wheel, taking the shot, going for it. And I got to respect that. There's nothing more fun than getting the chance to do the thing you talk about constantly, especially as Jack Harvey, who is a former driver still. This is a man who's not that far removed from his career. Step back behind the wheel, go get it. My pick, though, is a crazier one. He drives an Arrow McLaren car, but he's not a full-time driver. He is the man who won the first Indy 500 I ever watched as a kid. And to do it, he had to beat Helio Castroneves. He's the one who pushed Helio's 4th win to 2021 and not 2014, back when he drove a DHL car. Now, it's a different story. He's got a betting company on the side of it, but it's Arrow McLaren and a partnership with Legacy Motor Club. Driver of the number 31, give me Ryan Hunter-Reay, 12 years after his last one, to make it back to victory lane.
Derek, my earliest memories of IndyCar as a child, in passing, I didn't really watch a ton of it, but in passing, was the name Ryan Hunter-Reay. That obviously, if you're 12 years old watching sports, hyphens are easy to remember. And every year, like in passing, the Indy 500 would be on, and I'd be like, oh, well, what's this? Yeah, that's the name.
I will say, I think the 2014 Indy 500 is so iconic in many ways. And one of them is that the yellow submarine paint scheme, which I somehow didn't talk about during this, is an icon of the race. The number 3 Penske Motorsports car being bright yellow, sponsored by Pennzoil. That is part of tradition at this point in many ways. Scott McLaughlin will be driving a yellow submarine car.
True.
That was what Helio's car in 2014 when he still raced for Penske. And Ryan Hunter-Reay drove a DHL bright yellow and red car. So these two bright yellow cars just dancing around the track, two of the best drivers at the time in the sport, dueling for a chance to cement legacy. And Ryan Hunter-Reay got it. He added his name to the list of IndyCar winners. He's only a one-timer, but I mean, that's special in and of itself.
More than most people.
Exactly. He was trying to cement his legacy as a one-timer. Helio Castroneves was trying to cement his legacy as a four-timer. Now, Ryan Hunter-Reay, down the line, he's no longer the young upstart he was. Now he's the experienced guy. Hell, he's running for a team named Legacy Motor Club.
Yeah.
And he used to be a driver I despised because I loved Helio from the first time I saw his race car.
Sure.
And he took Helio's opportunity at glory from him. But after Helio got that fourth one, all of my hate for Ryan Hunter-Reay melted away. Now, I would love to see Ryan Hunter-Reay get a second. And so I'm going to pick him with my heart to win the Indianapolis 500.
Well, you both went with heart picks. I love it.
You got to. You just have to. Well, that'll do it. From here at the Announcer's Curse podcast, you'll of course, have the Barksdale Baseball Basement as well. We'll be back. We promise. This isn't going to be another 6-month hiatus. We'll be back at the latest to give you some advanced coverage of the Mark Galloway shootout and talk about the 5/8 race that is to come here in the Pacific Northwest. You won't want to miss that. Keep your eyes peeled. Keep your ears open. You can find us where you normally do, whether it be messaging us on Twitter or Instagram on the Announcer's Curse podcast platform, or reaching Ben or I on Twitter under our names. I mean, both of our ats are just our names. You can find us there. I love racing. I love hockey. We're in a pretty good time for both those things. We'll see when we see you, but don't be a stranger. From the Announcer's Curse podcast, my name is Derek Totter.
My name is Ben Imett.
And it's not goodbye, it's see you later.